Welcome back. Today we are diving into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Washington Quarter Dollar. Since its introduction in 1932, these quarters have been a part of everyday life. But did you know that some of them can be worth much more than their face value? That's right. Today we'll be exploring the top 8 most valuable Washington Quarter Dollar coins on the market. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting into the hobby, you won't want to miss these. Let's get started. First up, the 1966 Washington Quarter without a mint mark, particularly in fine condition. Could this coin be hiding in your collection? Stick around to find out. First, let's travel back to 1966. This was a time of significant change in the U.S. coinage system. Just 1 year earlier, in 1965, the U.S. Mint removed silver from quarters and switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition. The aim? To combat a nationwide coin shortage caused by rising silver prices. Interestingly, coins minted in 1965, 1966, and 1967 were produced without any mint marks. This was a deliberate decision by the U.S. Mint to discourage coin hoarding and ensure an adequate supply of circulating coins. While this explains the lack of a mint mark, it doesn't diminish the importance or value of the 1966 Washington Quarter today. The 1966 Washington Quarter showcases the classic design by sculptor John Flanagan. On the obverse, we see the iconic portrait of George Washington, accompanied by the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the year 1966. Flipping to the reverse, we find a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches. The inscriptions "United States of America" and "Quarter Dollar" frame the eagle beautifully. Despite being a non-silver coin, this design has remained a favorite among collectors. So, what makes the 1966 Washington Quarter in fine condition special? While the U.S. Mint produced over 821 million quarters in 1966, finding one in fine condition or better today is becoming increasingly challenging, leading to significant wear and tear. A fine condition quarter means the coin retains noticeable design details, though some wear is present. Key features like Washington's hairlines and the eagle's feathers should still be discernible, making it an attractive piece for collectors. In today's market, the 1966 Washington Quarter, without a mint mark in fine condition, is valued between $30,000, depending on its specific appearance and demand among collectors. However, if you're lucky enough to have one in extremely fine or uncirculated condition, the value can jump to $55,000 or more. Rare varieties, such as coins with striking errors or double dies, can fetch even higher prices, sometimes crossing the $120,000 mark at auctions. Thinking about adding a 1966 Washington Quarter to your collection? Or perhaps you found one and want to sell it? Here are some tips. And there you have it, the story of the 1966 Washington Quarter without a mint mark. A coin that might just be hiding in your collection, waiting to surprise you with its value. Next up, the Washington Quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin quickly became a staple in American currency. The 1972 Washington Quarter, minted during the early years of the copper-nickel composition era, holds a special place in history. The coin features a bust of George Washington on the obverse with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1972. The reverse displays the iconic bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and preparedness. Now, what sets the 1972 Washington Quarter apart is its lack of a mint mark. Coins without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While this may sound ordinary, the condition and rarity of very good specimens makes this coin a treasure for collectors. A very good condition coin, graded by experts, will show moderate wear, but key details like Washington's profile and the eagle's feathers remain visible. Now, let's talk about the market value. While millions of these coins were minted, very good condition examples are harder to come by. In today's market, the value of a 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark can range from $170,000 for very good condition. Coins in higher grades, such as extra fine or uncirculated, can fetch even higher prices, sometimes reaching $300,000 or more at auctions. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for well-preserved pieces, especially if they have unique toning, interesting die errors, or other distinguishing features. Collectors love the 1972 Washington quarter for its timeless design and historical significance. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, adding this coin to your collection is a smart move. It's not only a piece of American history, but also an investment that could grow in value over time. Next up, the 1980 Washington quarter was minted by the United States Mint in both Philadelphia and Denver, but today we're specifically focusing on the version with the D mint mark, which was struck at the Denver Mint. This coin holds a special place in the hearts of collectors because it's one of the most commonly found quarter designs in circulation. However, don't let that fool you. Certain conditions and unique qualities of this coin make it much rarer and valuable than you might think. Now, when we talk about a Washington quarter in very good condition, what do we really mean? A coin in this condition will show some heavy wear, but the details are still clearly visible, and the image of George Washington on the obverse is distinguishable. The reverse will also retain some of the eagle's feathers and other design features, although they may be worn down. This means that while it's not a pristine, uncirculated coin, it still holds value, especially if you've kept it well preserved. So, what makes this particular coin valuable today? Well, unlike some of the more common coins that flood the market, the 1980 Washington quarter with the D mint mark has steadily gained attention from collectors. While it's not one of the key dates in the Washington quarter series, it does have a market price that's been climbing, especially for those in decent to very good condition. As of today, a Washington quarter from 1980 in very good condition can typically range in value from $180,000. While this may seem like a lot compared to some of the more expensive quarters, you have to understand that coin values are heavily impacted by rarity, demand, and condition. A very good condition coin is more rare than a worn circulated one, and collectors are always seeking out these specific qualities for their collections. Let's talk about the D mint mark. As mentioned earlier, this coin was minted in Denver, which means it's part of a smaller population of coins compared to the Philadelphia minted version, which didn't carry a mint mark. While Denver minted coins aren't as scarce as others from certain years, their rarity and good condition still makes them valuable. Remember, coins like this are not only sought after by collectors for their year, mint mark, and condition, but also because of their place in history. For those of you who might be thinking of diving into coin collecting or expanding your current collection, here's a tip. Always check your change. Coins like the 1980 Washington quarter with the D mint mark are often overlooked, but with a little knowledge, you could easily spot a rare gem. Coins that are well maintained, even in very good condition, can surprise you in terms of market value. So be sure to examine your quarters and other coins closely. So, while the 1980 Washington quarter with the D mint mark might not be one of the rarest or most expensive coins out there, it definitely holds significant value in today's market, especially in very good condition. As the coin market continues to grow, coins like this one could become even more desirable to collectors looking to complete their sets. Next up, the Washington quarter dollar from 1965, without a mint mark. This coin may look like a regular piece of currency, but it holds significant value in today's market. So, grab your magnifying glass. The 1965 Washington quarter was minted during a significant time in U.S. history. In fact, this was a period when the U.S. Treasury was making adjustments to coinage, primarily due to the rising cost of silver. The design features a portrait of George Washington on the obverse, created by John Flanagan, and the reverse shows an eagle perched on a branch. Now, you might notice something important. This particular 1965 quarter doesn't have a mint mark. Typically, quarters are marked with a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. The lack of a mint mark on a 1965 coin is significant, as it means this quarter was minted in Philadelphia. While most coins from this period have mint marks, there are a few rare instances where some quarters were struck without one, making them highly sought after by collectors. So, why is the 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark considered rare? Well, in 1965, the U.S. Mint struck coins without mint marks as part of a move to standardize the design and streamline production during a time of coin shortages. However, the majority of 1965 quarters were minted in Denver and San Francisco, so those without a mint mark are far less common. In fact, the number of 1965 quarters without a mint mark is very limited, making them a sought-after item among collectors. When you find one, it could potentially fetch a significant price. Now, let's talk about the big question. How much is a 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark worth today? Well, the value of this coin really depends on its condition. Coins are graded based on their wear. So if you have a quarter in circulation condition, the value will typically range from $400,000. However, if the coin is in higher grades, like extra fine or uncirculated, the value can rise dramatically. In pristine, uncirculated condition, a 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark can command prices in the range of $700,000, and if you're lucky enough to find one with unique characteristics, like double die errors or other varieties, prices could soar even higher. So, where can you find a Washington quarter dollar 1965 without a mint mark? Well, you can check your own coin collection for any hidden gems, but if you're looking to purchase one, I recommend checking out reputable coin dealers, online auction sites like eBay, or specialized numismatic shops. Remember, always make sure you're buying from a trustworthy source to avoid counterfeit coins. So, in conclusion, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark may seem like just another coin at first glance, but it's a rare piece with a unique history that's gaining traction among collectors. Whether you find one in circulation or purchase it from a dealer, it's a coin that could hold significant value in your collection. Next up, the Washington quarter itself. First minted in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, the quarter became a beloved part of American currency. Throughout its history, the design has undergone minor adjustments, but the basic concept remained the same: George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. But today, we're focusing on a specific year, 1967. This particular coin is from 1967, and what makes it so special is the fact that it was minted without a mint mark. As you can see, there's no D for Denver or S for San Francisco. The absence of a mint mark means this quarter was produced in Philadelphia, which is quite significant for collectors. Now, the Washington Quarter of 1967 is made of 40% silver, which was standard for US coins at the time. This is another reason why it holds more value than quarters from later years. During this period, the US was still transitioning away from silver in its circulating coinage, so silver quarters like this one are considered rare and valuable to collectors. But here's the kicker. The 1967 Washington Quarter is considered a circulated coin. You might be wondering, why is that so important? Well, coins that are in circulation often have wear and tear, which can decrease their value compared to coins in mint or uncirculated condition. However, that doesn't mean it's worth less. On the contrary, even a circulated 1967 quarter can still fetch a pretty penny on the market today. The 1967 Washington Quarter without a mint, marked in circulated condition, is valued anywhere between $295,000 depending on its specific wear. This is because silver has remained in demand for its intrinsic value, and, as a collector's item, even coins with some circulation history can retain impressive worth. Now, if you have one of these in higher grades, say extra fine or uncirculated, the value jumps significantly. In fact, a 1967 Washington Quarter in perfect condition could be worth upwards of $560,000, or even more depending on the demand from collectors at the time. Comparing this coin with other silver quarters from the same era, we see that while the 1967 isn't the rarest of the bunch, it still holds a unique place due to the 40% silver composition and its circulation history. The fact that it was minted without a mint mark makes it all the more interesting to collectors looking to complete their sets of silver quarters. So, if you happen to stumble upon a 1967 Washington Quarter in your change, take a moment to inspect it closely. While it might be in worn condition, it still holds value, especially with the demand for silver coins continuing to grow in today's market. Keep in mind that condition plays a huge role in the pricing of any coin, so if yours is in good shape, it could be worth much more than you'd expect. Next up, the Washington Quarter Dollar from 1983, featuring the P Mint mark in good condition. This coin is rare, and you might be surprised at what it's worth today. Let's break it down. So, let's take a closer look at the Washington Quarter from 1983, specifically the one with the P Mint mark. This coin has been gaining a lot of attention in the coin collecting world, and for good reason. The Washington Quarter was first issued in 1932 to celebrate George Washington's 200th birthday. Fast forward to 1983, and the US Mint was still producing these quarters as part of its regular series. The 1983 Washington Quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it bears the P Mint mark. Now, you might be wondering, why is this coin so special if it's from 1983? Well, the 1983 Washington Quarter isn't particularly rare in terms of circulation, but when we talk about its condition, things get a bit more interesting. Most quarters from 1983 are fairly common, and they aren't worth much in average condition. However, the key to value lies in the condition of the coin. The one we're focusing on today is in good condition. In coin grading, a good coin typically shows signs of wear, but still retains most of its design elements. It's not pristine, but it's definitely still recognizable. But here's where it gets interesting, the silver content. Though the 1983 Washington Quarter is not made of pure silver, it's still part of a broader trend in silver coins, with earlier Washington Quarters from 1932 to 1964 being struck in 90% silver. So, while the 1983 version isn't silver, collectors often value it for its connection to these earlier silver-rich coins. Now let's talk about the market value of the 1983 Washington Quarter with the P Mint mark. You might be surprised to hear that a 1983 Washington quarter in good condition can be worth more than just its face value, sometimes much more. In general, quarters from this year in good condition can range from around $250,000 in value. For instance, if this coin has no visible major defects, good luster, and retains clear details of George Washington and the eagle on the reverse, its value might be even higher. With a little research, and depending on where you're selling or trading, this quarter could fetch a decent price, especially if it's sold to a specialized collector who appreciates coins in their historical context. Other factors affecting the coin's value include the general demand for coins of this era, the overall state of the coin market, and, of course, the rarity of a given coin within its class. Though the 1983 Washington coin within its class, though the 1983 Washington quarter is not as rare as some other collectible coins, certain features, like the size of the coin cluster, likely raise its worth. If this coin is well preserved in its original packaging, like a mint set, or if it's found as part of an uncirculated batch, its value can skyrocket. Some collectors pay a premium for coins in mint state, so you might want to keep an eye out for any special cases. If you've got a Washington quarter 1983 with a PF mint mark and want to know how much you can sell it for, there are a few ways to go about it. Online auction platforms like eBay are a great place to check recent sale prices for coins like yours. You can also visit a local coin shop for an appraisal, but remember, condition and authenticity are key. To sum it up, the Washington quarter from 1983 with the P mint mark is not only a cool piece of US history, but also a rare coin with potential value in today's market, especially when it's in good condition. Whether you're a collector or just someone who stumbled upon this coin, now you know a bit more about what makes it special. Next up, the Washington quarter dollar from 1984 with the D mint mark. You might be wondering, what makes this coin rare, and why does it carry such an impressive market value today? Let's find out. First, let's take a step back in time. The Washington quarter, named after the first President of the United States, George Washington, was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of his birth. Since then, it has been a staple in US coinage, with the design remaining largely the same, showcasing George Washington's portrait on the obverse side. The 1984 quarter, featuring a portrait of Washington designed by John Flanagan, is part of the regular circulating quarters produced during the 1980s. These quarters were minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The D mint mark, which we're focusing on today, indicates that this particular quarter was minted in Denver, Colorado. Now, the 1984 Washington quarter with the D mint mark isn't necessarily rare when compared to some other coins from earlier years. After all, over 600 million quarters were minted in 1984 alone. However, it's important to consider the condition of the coin. If you find a 1984 quarter in good condition, it may not stand out from other common coins. But what about when it's in good or higher condition? That's where things get interesting. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to perfect, and coins in better condition are always more valuable. The term good condition refers to a coin that shows noticeable wear, but still retains its features, including the date, mint mark, and the general outline of Washington's profile. A coin in this condition can hold some collector's interest. So, why is this quarter so valuable today? Well, there are few factors at play. One key factor is the silver content. Although the 1984 Washington quarter wasn't minted in pure silver like the pre-1965 quarters, it still holds some appeal due to its inherent quality as a part of the Washington quarter series. The general rarity of certain years, combined with collector demand, makes coins like the 1984 Denver Mint Mark Quarter in good condition a prized find. The value of a Washington Quarter from 1984 with the D Mint Mark in good condition can vary depending on factors such as collector interest, the specific year's minting numbers, and overall demand. As of recent estimates, a 1984 D Mint Mark Quarter in good condition can be worth anywhere between $35,000. This may seem modest, but as we move into higher grade conditions like extra fine or uncirculated, the price climbs significantly, sometimes reaching upwards of $200,000 or more. Market trends show that collector interest in Washington quarters has been on the rise, particularly for coins from the 1980s. While these quarters may not reach the high prices of rare coins from the 1930s, they still hold great appeal for collectors who are looking to complete their collections. So, if you have a 1984 Washington Quarter with a D Mint Mark in good condition, it's certainly worth holding onto or considering for sale. As more people get into coin collecting, the demand for mid-century quarters like this one continues to grow. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, a 1984 quarter with the D Mint mark can make an excellent addition to your collection. If you think you might have one of these rare quarters in your possession, you're probably wondering how to grade it and assess its true value. To get an accurate value, it's essential to consider the condition of your coin. The simplest way to do this is by using the good to uncirculated grading scale, which looks at the wear, clarity, and sharpness of the coin's features. Make sure to examine the details of the coin, especially the hair, facial features, and the text. If the coin looks worn or has visible scratches, it might be closer to a good or very good grade. If the coin looks crisp with a lot of the original shine still intact, it could be extra fine or better, which can significantly boost its value. To sum up, the Washington Quarter Dollar 1984 with the D Mint mark in good condition may not be an ultra-rare coin, but its historical significance, coupled with its collector demand, gives it a place in the market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or new to the hobby, this coin can be a valuable addition to your collection. Keep an eye out for these treasures, and who knows, you might just have one in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1984 Washington Corner or any other unique coin. We'd love to hear about your finds. Until next time, happy collecting.